Good afternoon, students. So welcome back again to our YouTube video lesson. So this is our second lesson for today, this Wednesday, and our topic for today for Unit 3 is technology and and the evolution of human society. Okay, so at the end of this lesson, we should be able to describe how human society have evolved through time. And then we will classify the various technologies, explain how these technologies can be replaced and passed on from one individual to another, and explain how science and technology served as a key in the economic development of the country. So once again, let's define technology. Di ba pag sinabi nating technology, this is the application of scientific knowledge to solve a certain problem. Okay? And marami yan. Yan yung pag-uusapan natin. Okay? So when you're ready, so please take down your notes and let's start. Okay, the society has undergone evolutionary changes brought about by the development of different technologies. The evolution of human society has different stages. The primitive of all the species, or of all the society rather, is the hunter-gatherer society, whose members depended solely on the resources available in nature. Okay? They used tools which they made themselves, such as stone, wood, bone, and ivory. Okay, the hunter-gatherer society, which may be, di ba, from Stone Age up to Bronze Age or Iron Age. So, dyan ang ganap yung hunter-gatherer society. Okay? And then, after that, people became shifters and farmers after they learned how to tame animals and grow crops. As they domesticate the animals and become an agricultural society, they do this. They became shifter and farmers. And this um, marked the beginning of the agricultural society. Okay? And then, um, yan. They also learned the process of mining using metallic hand tools. And then the stage when people have discovered coal, gas, and oil, which they use in cooking, is the manufacturing stage. This opened the door to industrialization. And the last stage of human society is the future man made world, and um, where technologies are eventually used for producing synthetic food and for recycling resources to satisfy the increasing human needs resulting from the constantly increasing human population. So, once again, human society evolved from being hunter gatherer, shifter farmer, and then manufacturing stage, uh, and then human or future man-made world society. Okay? And this society is according to their resources, their needs, and their lifestyle. That is the first classification of society according to how they evolved over time. And then, um, according to Alvin Toffler, so he also classified society. Okay, si Alvin Toffler is an American writer and futurologist who focused his writing and technology or on technology expansion and its impact on the society, which he called information overload. And dito po yun sa book niya na Third Wave Classified Societies, which are based on the concept of waves where each wave propels the older societies and cultures aside. So kumbaga parang wina-wipe out yung existing society ng new wave of society. Okay, the first wave of society is the one that replaced the hunter-gatherers society after the agrarian revolution. So people during this time used small-scale technologies which came into existence through trial and error. So it is more on the agricultural side. Okay, and then the second wave of society is is the period of industrial revolution until the end of World War II. So this wiped out the agrarian society or the agricultural society or the first wave society. And then people use technologies based on mass production, mass consumption, mass distribution, and the weapons of mass destruction combined with standardization, centralization, and synchronization. And then this is also the time parang ito din yung scientific revolution which basically they had their foundation on Newton's physics, biology, and chemistry. So itong second wave is isa siyang malaking wave ng evolution ng society because nagkaroon dito ng industrialization as well as madaming concept ang na-discover in physics, biology, chemistry, or science itself. Because of that, madaming good things na nangyari, pero madami din na intentions for mass destructions. Okay? So, yun yung second wave ng society. Dito talaga nagsimula ang development ng ating technology. And then, the third wave society is described as the post-industrialized society after the World War II, which we live today, where people use modern technologies like computers, robotics, and the like based on the advent of science based on the advance of science. And this society was seemingly associated with scientific technological evolution. So once again, the first wave is the one that is more on the agricultural, the classical technology, and then next one, the second wave is the industrialized technology or the industrial society, and the third wave society is the modern society. Okay, so that's all about society. Okay, the evolution and their classification. And next, we'll describe or we'll classify the technology according to their process. Okay, number one classification is the energy technology. From the word energy, it involves the process that could create or generate, convert, and distribute energy with the main purpose of yielding high efficiency without causing negative effects to human and environment. Okay, so dapat sustainable and walang magiging negative effects. So examples niyan, syempre, the oil, coal, wind, water, geothermal, hydroelectric, nuclear fusion, and solar energy. So, kumbaga, dito na mapapasok yung concept ng transformation of energy. Because of wind energy, so pwede tayong makapag-generate ng electricity as well as the water, hydroelectric, nuclear, and solar energy. Okay? Pero ang pinakamaganda dito na dapat natin ginagamit din is yung minamaximize natin yung consume ng solar energy. Since solar energy is kumbaga para siyang unlimited kumbaga. Kaya dapat kahit pa paano 'di ba parang maganda din na makapag-invest tayo ng solar panel sa ating bahay para kahit pa paano meron tayong energy na renewable. Okay? So dun sa oil kasi tsaka sa coal, they are non-renewable uh, renewable resources. So wind, water, pwede yan. Okay, next naman is the equipment technology. So this technology involves the design, fabrication, and invention of instrument, tools, gadgets, and machine. And some examples of this technology are the motors, engines, plow, mills, spinning wheels, robot, fermenters, laser, and computer-controlled machine. So kumbaga, itong equipment technology is related to creation of products or goods. Okay? So, kumbaga, yung mga motors, engine flows, yan yung mga dati sa Industrial Revolution. Yung mga spinning wheels, spinning jenny, yan yung mga ginagamit para makapag-fabricate ng clothes. Yung motors, engines, di ba? For ano yan? For creation of vehicles. So yung mga robots, 'di ba, commonly sa mga modern factories, robots ang ginagamit nila in creating gadgets and machines. Okay? So that is all about equipment technology, creation of equipments. Next one is the information technology. This technology is primarily concerned with tools and gadgets, including computer systems and their application to manage, process, and distribute information. Okay, they include typewriters, so which is an old technology in information, books, newspaper, television, telephone, cell phone, radio, printer, and laser printers, okay, or lasers. Okay, that's all about information technology. Next one is life technology or what we call biotechnology. This main purpose of technology is to make technological advancement. These technologies benefit human race in terms of health and food security. These are made primarily for preservation, maintenance, treatment, and reproduction of living things. So examples are animal breeding, herbal medicine, surgery, vaccine, antibiotic, artificial, and organ transplant, genetic engineering. Okay, so yan yung benefits ng biotechnology. 'Di ba nga dati meron din tayong tinatawag na traditional biotechnology. More on examples nun is yung mga fermented products. Pero ngayon kasi more on talagang preservation of life and also maintenance of life and reproduction of life. Meron tayong mga in vitro fertilization as well as meron ngang cloning. Pero 'di ba dapat nandun pa rin tayo sa ethical, okay? So that is all about life technology. And the next naman and last classification is materials technology. From the word materials, it is concerned with extraction, fabrication, and synthesis of materials specifically for the benefit of mankind. Examples are steels, plastic, brass, iron, copper, ceramic, aluminum, polymers, and synthetics. So creation of this kind of material. Kasi syempre, yung mga materials na yan is also essential in creation of infrastructures like buildings na kailangang i-analyze kung anong mga klase talagang material ang suited for that. Okay? So those are the 5 classification of technology according to process. Number 1 is energy technology, equipment, information, life, and materials technology. Technologies keep on changing, and these changes are through two things. Number one is substitution, and number two is diffusion. Substitution happen when technologies which may have been used for a long period of time are replaced from the word substitute by the new and better version specifically or specially with respect to the performance. A good example is the replacement of, for example, stereotype radio with cassette tape recorder. And then, for example, yung Nokia dati, syempre ni-replace na ng bago. Okay? Another example is the partial replacement of telephones by cellular phones, which are gradually replaced by more sophisticated ones. 'Di ba nga, mas nagiging high-tech ng high-tech ang ating mga gadgets. So that is substitution. Okay? Next one naman is diffusion. From the word diffuse, kumakalat. It happens when technologies are being adopted by individuals when after or even after innovations come. The more individuals adapted the technology innovation, the greater is the measure of diffusion process. The neighborhood could affect diffusion of technology in such a way that adoption increases if the technology is just within the reach of the individual. If the technology has been adopted, individuals could be informed and eventually could communicate because of interaction between and among them. For example, yung paggamit ng isang application sa computer na mas mapapadali ang isang klaseng activity. So yun is nalaman ng isa kong kaibigan and then inirecommend din niya sa other niyang kaibigan. Doon nangyari yung diffusion. Okay, those are the factors that changes or affects technology, substitution and diffusion. Okay, so national development through science and technology. So 'di ba nga, science and technology are instruments of a country's rapid development, tama? And economic stability. Success of nation depends on the strict implementation of programs based on science and technology. So, nations that do not invest much in science and technology would remain underdeveloped and will be left behind. So assess our country if we are left behind na ba. A nation which does not prosper on these grounds would never be able to sustain the lives of its people and may have to solely depend on other nations for their basic requirements. So this must be a challenge to us as a nation to invest more on our science and technology programs. It is because kailangan talaga natin na mag-depend na lang tayo sa sarili natin in our resources and in our labor force. Kasi kung magde-depend pa tayo sa other nations, so kumbaga, mali-left behind talaga tayo. Lagi na lang tayong nag-a-acquire sa kanila. Dapat natututo din tayong magkaroon ng sarili natin na development. And yun, each sector of society has benefited much on science and technology. So kahit papaano naman talaga is meron din namang development sa atin in terms of science and technology. Transportation, for example, di ba, has been modernized and can take man even faster to any destinations. Tama? And then communication, on the other hand naman, has been made easier today with the development of several brands of cell phones with which can open communication among loved ones, 'di ba? Even from afar. And then on the other areas of societies like in the medical field, infrastructure, electricity, and industry have equipment to be used for modern day people. Life has become easier, tama, with the discovery of several tools and gadgets. Ayan, 'di ba? 'Di ba may mga example, may mga developed countries like Russia, Japan, Brazil, China, and India. Meron silang strong foundation of science and technology, 'di ba? Tapos, yun, World Bank estimated that 7 of the 10 largest economies of the world by 2020 would be in Asia. Astig lang. Pero, yun is yung China, Japan, India, Thailand, Indonesia, South Korea, and Taiwan. So, wala po tayo dun. Then, these countries then have little advancement or no advancement at all in science and technology. But when this was introduced, a boom was evident when even across the globe. 'Di ba? Grabe yung advancement ng Korea, ng China, ng 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 Taiwan, ng Singapore, 'di ba, ng other countries sa Asia in terms of technology. Kasi dun sila talaga nag-prioritize, dun sila nag-invest at talagang nakilala sila sa buong mundo because of their investment in science sector technology. Pati din naman sa ibang continents. Okay? Pero dapat tayo din, okay? Kumbaga, dapat meron din tayong indicator na itong science and technology will really help us to become a developed countries. And in speaking of indicators, we will understand several national development indicators. So the following are the indicators that are usually used to measure national development. Okay, number one indicator is GDP or the gross domestic product. So gross domestic product is the measure either of all the income earned within the country or all the expenditures within the country. So it is more on from the word domestic. It is only within the country. The money spent by the consumers in buying several products and those invested by business establishments, kahit na foreign yan, and government investment contributes to a country's GDP. Okay? So, yun yung GDP. Basta within the country, investments and expenditures, foreign man, or yung sa atin locally, basta inside our country is computed as the gross domestic product. Okay? Next one is the per capita income. It is the average income earned by a person in a particular city, region, or country. It is a way of measuring the economic status and the quality of life in different areas. It can be computed by dividing the country's national income by its population. So kumbaga, um, parang ito yung average income ng isang population dividing the country's national income. Okay? So, kahit na madaming malalaki ang income, pero kung maliliit din naman ang income ng ibang tao, maapektuhan ng per capita income. Okay? Kaya dapat meron tayo ding number 3, which is yung proper income distribution. Okay? This is the measure of how the total gross domestic product of the country is equally distributed among its members or people. Okay? This would tell us the distribution of the individuals who can be considered rich or pure. Pure or poor, sorry. So that is the income distribution. Okay. So, next, the GNP naman, which is the growth rate of gross national product. Okay? Gross national product. This refers to the increase in country's total economic activity. GNP is the sum of all the goods and services produced in a country per year by its people. It uses the GDP plus the income of people working overseas minus the income paid to foreign citizens and entities. So, ang pinagkaiba ng GNP is yung lahat ng income ng country within as well as international. Basta yung country na yon ang nag-invest. Pero kasi, ima-minus doon yung income or ima-minus doon yung income paid for foreign citizens. Since yun is nagko-contribute din sa sarili nilang GNP. Okay? So, ganun po. Ang GDP kasi, kahit multinational siya, basta nasa loob ng country, di ba, yung mga foreign investors doon, magbibigay din sila ng share nila doon sa country yon. And then, ika-count yun as GDP. Pero pag GNP, overseas, okay? Income of people plus income of overseas minus the income paid to foreigners. Okay? So, yun nga. Next one is percentage of employment. So, di ba, it is defined as the employment rate or the measure at which all the available labor resources are being utilized. It is computed as the ratio of the employed to the working age population. Above 70% is considered a high percentage value, while 50% is someone a low ratio. Okay? And then the ratio of employment to the population is usually higher for men than in women. Since parang talagang men ang pinaka essential labor force, but also, 'di ba ngayon naman, talagang kahit babae, hindi naman din kailangan na lalaki laga. Babae din, may kaya rin naman gawin talaga. Equal naman talaga tayo. Pero yun nga, according to statistics, mas madami ang men than in women. Sana magkaroon din ng equal distribution in terms of opportunities regardless of gender. Okay, kasi yung iba, for example, engineer ka, pag babae ka, office ka lang, hindi ka doon sa construction. Parang ganon. Kumbaga, yung ibang profession, mas nagre-require na ganito yung gender. Pero kasi sayang din naman yung kinuha nung mga girl kung yun din yung pinurso nila. Kaya dapat magkaroon din ng equal job opportunities. Okay, kaya siguro bumababa ang percentage of employment kasi may ganun ding factor. Next one, structure of labor force. It is the sum total of all the men and women who are able to work, be employed, or unemployed. So this is all about the data. Doon sa number 5, it is more on the percentage. Okay? Ayan. The age structure of the country basically determines the labor or the workforce. Okay. So for example, since tayo, Pilipinas, napaka-young country natin, or we are a young country because yung mostly we are comprised of youth population. Therefore, mas malakas ang labor force natin. Kaya nga 'di ba, madaming kahit pagkatapos ng senior high, talaga marami na agad diyan ang pumupunta na mag-earn na ng income by entering factories, ganyan. Kasi nga, they are now free to work. And yung miski ngayon, ngayong pandemic, madaming mga high school ngayon na naka-quarantine sila ngayon is nagwo-work sa mga factory diyan. Kasi youth kaya nila 'yan. So therefore, the age structure of the country basically determines the labor force. Okay. And the next one is human life expectancy. It refers to the average number of years an individual or a group people could be expected to live. It is usually recorded as the person's lifespan from birth. Siyempre, kung mas madami ang lifespan ng isang tao, mas madaming kayang gawin. Therefore, lead to the national development. Pero because of the limited resources and because of the environment changes and because ngayong nangyayari sa atin, mas lumiliit ang life expectancy and therefore mas humihina ang development nationally. Okay? Kaya dapat talagang ma-improve ang ating science and technology. And lastly, is the percentage of urban population. It is defined as the percentage of people or density of people living in urbanized area not depending upon agricultural products and other government services. So as you can see in this picture, yung mga pula po is yung mga countries which are major or majority is urban areas. And yung blue naman is majority rural areas. And kung nakikita mo ang ating bansa, we are a rural country. Parang majority sa atin ay rural because nakadepende pa rin tayo sa ating agricultural products. Okay, agriculture. Okay, at ang challenge dyan, ano ulit, development, investment of science and technology. And that's it for our topic for today, technology and the evolution of human society. So once again, we classified and described the evolution of society and according to Alvin Toffler and classified technology and knows some indication of national development. So that's it, class. So please go to your G classroom for some discussion questions. Okay? So thank you so much, class. And always remember, please secure na po ang inyong internet, data, and please download the Zoom app because sa Thursday bukas po ay magkakaroon po tayo ng live lesson. So, didiscuss natin yung lesson 9, lesson 10, and lesson 11 for the unit 3. Okay? And doon, after nun, um, focus na kayo sa inyong project. Okay? So if you have any questions, so please comment down below. So please comment your name, age, and wag na yung age, name and your section. So that's it, class. Thank you so much and have a good day. God bless.